Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Element Cup which just dropped here, and we're going to take a look at a newly released Pokemon. Basically, because we have the Shadow version of Ducklet available in this cup now, and we're going to try this out. You're going to see the IVs on the right side, they're not the best. I actually got a really good Ducklet now, like yesterday I think, for this cup, but of course it's still frustrated, so I had to use this one, but we can still take a look if the Shadow bonus is going to help this little duck a little bit better out. And I definitely went positive with this, and like I went crazy positive with this. I went like, I think like 11-4 or something with this, while I had a 5-0 set as well with it, which was really nice, as we see here that just the confusion damage of the Shadow Slowpoke is insanely strong as well. They can go for all the bubble beams they want, we can just farm them all the way down, but yeah, this team is pretty solid. We have a lead here that really does want to face Chinchou, as you can see here, even though I had to like learn a little bit how to play this cup again later on. Also, like, you're gonna see definitely, I know that this game is in there because I put them in. There was like one game where I really underestimated one Shadow Vulpix, like one of the best Pokemon as well in the cup, but next to the Shadow Slowpoke, which is basically one of the safest generalists, like there's nothing that the Slowpoke doesn't really beat or like doesn't do great damage to, it's just like so good. But we see here one Brave Bird trying to come through against this Chinchou. They do not shield this, and we see another Slowpoke coming in here. We can go ahead, go for one Bubble Beam, get the debuff on them. We have a shield disadvantage, but we have the boosts, but the debuff basically on my opponent's part here, and we can just farm all the way down as we can take this move. We can have also the Charm lay down, which would do enough, but we can just Confusion them down, and that's basically it. Shadow Slowpoke, very good Pokemon, basically MVP here, but also the rest of the team worked really well, as we see a Cottony lead here. For the Cottony lead, you can just go straight for the not Seed Bomb, Grass Knot. If they go for the Seed Bomb, you basically win the matchup here, as you're going to be able to survive it. You can go for one Grass Knot and you either get the shield advantage or the switch advantage. We get the switch advantage here, going to be able to swap the Ducklet now into the Execute, which is important as Ducklet has access to the move Bubble Beam. Means if my opponent wants to swap out, they're going to get directly debuffed onto their next Pokemon. As you're gonna see here, as the Bubble Beam comes through, we're gonna get the shield there, and we have now a debuffed Slowpoke against a Shadow Slowpoke, which is not debuffed, which means we have a very good matchup here. Especially as they gonna, I guess I'm gonna let this move go through. I have to let one move go through anyway, so we see here that we're gonna be able to survive it now thanks to the debuff, and we should be fine here. The Shadow Ducklet in the back was supposed to be my sweeper, basically main team ID here, which also worked out very well, as you have the best possible answer to the Chinchou in the lead. You have a Say Swap, which should bait this out while still having access to moves that damage the Chinchou, which you have here with the Shadow Slowpoke. Shadow Slowpoke being a water type Pokemon, going to be able to get out the Shadow, the normal Chinchou here usually, as we see as a Bulbasaur coming in here. Look how we destroy that thing with the confusion damage, it's insane. But you get basically a Chinchou out of the way, and if there's no Chinchou, there is no answer anymore for the Ducklet. There's literally only one real hard answer for the Ducklet, which is the Chinchou. Actually, there's another one, which we're gonna maybe try to take a look later on as well, as there's one Pokemon that I already built, which I have in mind, which is going to be very cool, but this is going to be in like, I guess, 2 days, a little bit spicier then. As we see a Lotad coming in here, we can go ahead, go for one Seed Bomb. They're going to catch it on the Ducklet, but it doesn't really matter, as our Ducklet still is healthy. We can go into our Ducklet immediately, and we can take every single move here on our Ducklet, as they're going to go ahead, go for the Energy Ball. It doesn't really matter. Ducklet's still going to be able to farm down in time, as we still had a Pokemon left. We're going to be able to win the game. Next up, we're going to see another Chinchou in the lead here. Very good for us. We see the Ducklet coming in there against us as a Say Swap. Maybe I should stay in for longer. I am not 100% sure about this here, but we can do some nice, pretty good damage there with the confusion. As we go ahead, go for a Psyshock here. Psyshock comes through, and we're going to see that my opponent doesn't really like to see a Psyshock, as they're going to shield this up. We can shield up their move, and they go actually for Brave Bird here, which is amazing, as we can farm them down now. And we see the Chinchou coming in here, which we can now avoid with our Ducklet in the back. And they kind of want to shield this, but they actually don't shield this, which means we can put them into farm down range for literally everything. And we see a Vulpix coming in, and this matchup is still not very good. And here's the thing as well with Vulpix. Vulpix, if they have like a shield advantage, this thing basically wins against everything. I think in the 0 to 1 shields in the scenario where the Vulpix has 1 shield more than the opponent, I think it wins against literally everything in the meta. I'm pretty sure it does. Like, at least I can't think about any Pokemon right now which the Vulpix doesn't beat there. So I'm gonna go ahead, go for another Weather Ball. It doesn't KO us, we can farm them all the way down. But I was pretty sure that this is only a Bubble Beam, and I was pretty much wrong here, so this was already a Thunderbolt. Chinchou actually gonna be able to win the game there, even though we kinda hard-walled my opponent. We lost the game, and this is something that is a common theme, as you can see here, as we see a lot of times that just the Vulpix kinda threatens me. This was the first match I played, and I didn't know that you have to shield the first move of the Vulpix, otherwise you have no chance of winning this, basically, and they can just farm you all the way down. So if you're in this matchup, shield the first move of the Vulpix, and you should be fine, as you're gonna be able to do some more damage with your quick moves there. You're gonna be able to take moves later on, and depending on how they want to shield, you're gonna be okay. But like at this, they are able to even get to another move here, and I basically threw away this match here by, no shielding my Ducklett, expecting that I would survive this a little bit easier. Maybe I was still used to have the normal Ducklett, as we see here, my opponent going ahead, going for one Bubble Beam. Very nice bait by my opponent. And I actually didn't know that Chinchou seems to be winning every CMP in this kind of meta. I had this like later on as well, where I think I lost CMP with my Ducklett against the Chinchou, where I just didn't know that this was a thing. But it seems like Chinchou has a lot of attack, as we can actually still get to another move here, but we are now double debuffed, and at this point this game is over. I think if I threw the move prior, I would have been actually fine winning this game still, but I didn't. So here we go, we see the Flame Charge coming through, and good game to my opponent, winning him the game there. But still, I went very positive with this. We basically have most of the losses in there now already, as we see a Hoppip lead. This opponent, kudos to him, like he actually had a really cool team, and I really enjoyed playing against this. I didn't know the moveset of Hoppip, I just let it go just because I thought maybe he doesn't have a flying type move. I thought the basically the most threatening move they could have had would be something like Aerial Ace, which we still would have definitely survived, as Aerial Ace is horrible. But they went for the Grass Knot, means that they maybe only have Grass Knot. I don't know the moveset still. Like, I have no idea about the moveset of this Pokemon, as we see the Ducklett coming in here. Fine for me, but you're gonna love the last Pokemon from my opponent, as it's gonna be a Water Gun Wingull. And again, I have literally no idea what a Wingull can learn. I'm just gonna shield this. Maybe it's something that would kill us. It's definitely something that would kill us, else this or the Ice Beam, as we can go for the big boom by a Wingull, and we see the Hoppip going for another charge move, gonna be the Grass Knot. He's at 0 energy right now, so I can farm down in time before they can get to another Grass Knot, and we win the game here. Good game to my opponent, very cool team there. The Wingull was so much fun, as we see an opponent that is landed. And this team just loses basically straight now, because they have a perfect hard wall for our team here. Like, it's literally just the hardest walls for my team on my opponent's part, which is cool, but happens. Yeah, like there's nothing I can do here. Slandered is just the hardest wall for the Courtney. Like, if you do your teams here in this kind of meta, you shouldn't really put Slandered into effect, because this thing is basically next to unobtainable right now, unless you have like another account where you do rocket grunts, and like it's on below level 20, and you get like out of the egg once landed, which is like, unless you have like Pokestops at home or whatever, are very difficult to get pretty fast. So yeah, like this gonna lose us the game, as we can still get a big boom on the Ducklett here. I'm still gonna take this big boom, but yeah, of course, then it can just farm us down, because we're also double debuffed. No, like actually 4 times debuffed at that point. Very good lead here for us. We're gonna see the Chikorita, which definitely doesn't really want to get charmed here, as we already put him into half health. They have access to Body Slam, which gonna generate, like, you get to that very, very fast, as we're gonna let the next move go through as well. We kinda still want to keep this thing around though, as there can be a potential Chinchou on the back. So we're gonna go ahead, go for one Seed Bomb, go into our big boy Slowpoke, and we can just farm this thing down. Like, there's nothing that they can really do here. We can shield once. If it's a Bubble Beam and it is a Bubble Beam, it gives us even more farm here, as we can get to 2 more Confusions. And we have so many moves stored, as they gonna go ahead, go into their Chikorita. Do they let this move go through? Do they not let this move go through? We're gonna see they're gonna let this move go through, and we see a Slowpoke against us, a normal Slowpoke. Also very in general, this team is also pretty decent, like, to build. It's not that expensive. You don't really need the shadow versions of my team here, by the way. And you only really need a secondary charge move on the little duck here with a Ducklet, and Ducklet is a Pokemon that's very common anyway already, that a lot of people have. As my opponent goes for another Psyshock, it's gonna look a little bit tough for me at this point of time. It might be even a sweep from my opponent's Slowpoke here, as we can get the debuff, which is nice. They're gonna let this move go through, which is nice, and we can just charm him down, which is nice. So we're gonna be able to win the game still. Good game to my opponent. Next up, we're gonna see the Chikorita in the lead again. Very good lead for us, as we're gonna see that we can just charm them down again. We get some extra energy here. They're gonna go ahead, go for one Body Slam, as this Body Slam gonna do, again, around like 1/3 of my health. With the addition of the Wine Whip damage, I definitely cannot take 3 moves, but 2 moves are fine as they go for their Slowpoke, which is a weird choice, as we can go ahead, go for one Seed Bomb, get a shield, and go into our own Slowpoke, and we easily gonna be able to win this matchup here, as they have nothing really that they can do here. As our Shadow Slowpoke has a very good IV, so we're gonna lose CMP tie here, of course. As we go ahead, go for one more Psyshock here. We can Confusion them down, bring us this matchup, as we're gonna see my opponent going back into their Grass type most likely. No, they're actually gonna go into their Chinchou, allowing us to know their entire team and allowing us that we're kinda screwed if they're gonna shield this move up. But they're actually gonna shield this move up, and we are kinda screwed now, as we're gonna go into our Courtney, we're gonna shield this up. We need more damage on this Pokemon, and we hope that my opponent gonna swaps out, and if they gonna swap out, I can farm down. And here's the Team Peter I was talking about earlier. We lose Team Peter against Chinchou with our Ducklet. Chinchou seems to be very strong, as we can still win with 1 HP in Dream though, because of the charm down here with our Courtney. Courtney is like such a good Pokemon in this matter. As we see a Slowpoke against us, Shadow Slowpoke in the lead is totally fine for us. We just gonna charm all the way down and shield once. All you need basically is doing exactly this, as this is a pretty easy matchup. We're gonna see them going into a Vulpix. I expected them to have answered to Courtney in the back, so I just went straight into my Slowpoke, which is our safe swap on this team anyway, as we can go for a Psyshock, trying to get the shield from my opponent, getting the shield here already, and we're gonna let this move go through. If it's a Brave Bird, it's a Brave Bird, it is a Brave Bird, and we can just... I make a mistake here actually, like we can go into our Courtney and I go straight for the move, and you see me undercharge here, because look at the time, I don't want to get farmed down by the Vulpix, so I'm just gonna let this move go through as well. I just want to swap out, and I can swap out now, and I basically fixed my mistake there, winning the game there as my opponent decides to surrender. But if they would have been able to farm down my Courtney, that would have been like a little bit problematic, as we see another Ducklet in the lead. We swap into our Slowpoke, and we see them going for a move here, which can be a Brave Bird. We will see what it is. It is a Bubble Beam. Like, I basically always get baited in this matchup, but it doesn't really matter. Like, it's too much to risk usually to no shield there. So a lot of opponents, of course, know about this, and then they're gonna go for the bait. But here I'm just gonna let this move go through. They go for the Brave Bird now. Good place by them, like perfectly executed by them. As we go ahead, go into our own Ducklet, trying to farm this down. We see the Vulpix coming in, and we see them having the Quick Attack and the Body Slam here. Quick Attack, Body Slam, the moves that you prefer. As we're gonna go ahead, go for one nice Bubble Beam here. Bubble Beam gonna put them into the red health. We can farm them down, and we see my opponent going into the Ducklet again. We're gonna go ahead and go now into our Courtney. Most likely they have a Fire type in the back, so it wasn't smart, but they actually have a Bulbasaur in the back. And I want to highlight this play by my opponent, because it was like very enjoying to see this. Like, they make the perfect play here by just going ahead and farm me all the way until they have 100 energy. And now they're gonna be able to get to 2 charge moves and easily win this game. They're very well played there. This is what you want to see in this kind of Elo range, as this was a perfect executed match for my opponent. Good game there. Very, very well played. Into the final match already. Here we see that Chinchou against us in the lead, very good for us. We see the Courtney coming in. We don't really have the best answers for this, but we can go into our Duck now and farm them down. Maybe we should have waited until they throw a charge move, but they don't, like before into our Courtney, but I didn't really want to get my Courtney to get too low. That's our best Chinchou answer, as we're gonna go ahead and bait with the Bubble Beam here. Maybe they want to shield this because they don't want to get hit by a big Brave Bird, and they do shield this. I don't get to another Brave Bird, but do they know we go for the Bubble Beam, and they are letting this move go through, which is fine for me. We can go straight into our Courtney. We can take this Thunderbolt as they go ahead, go into the execute. We have to throw here as our switch lock wasn't up yet. And we're gonna go ahead, go into our Slowpoke, and we win this matchup here against this execute. We have to shield once, of course, unless they're gonna get the boost with the ancient power, which they're not even going for. We are fine here, going for the big side shock, and we should also be able to win this game, hopefully, as they're gonna get very, very low here. And they can only go for one bubble beam, we can go for another charge move, and we win this game here. Thanks all for watching, see you next video, have a great rest of your day. This was a lot of fun to play this team, it's definitely very good in the current Element Cup.